Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody is well and safe there in their homes. Because of coronavirus, we are bound to be there in our homes. So our school has started online learning. Our school have two YouTube channels. Students, you can note them down. Our school have two YouTube channels. One is Little Flower School Rapti Nagar and second one is LFS Rapti Nagar online classes. So, I'm here, Anamika, to teach you computer of class 6th. This time the book which we are using is Logic's Kips publication. You can see there on the screen. This book is as per the latest curriculum of ICSE. The chapters included in this book are first one, categories of computer and computer languages. Bit of regarding this topic you people have already studied regarding computers, what is computer and different parts of it. Here we are going to categorize the computer, means types of computer, on what basis they are being categorized, then what languages are there in a computer, and what are the what are the language processors used to convert one language from to another. Then comes the second chapter, that is file management, data organization. In this chapter, we will study about moving or copying of files or transferring one file from one drive to another drive or from one place to another storage device. How to search, how to sort, or how to work with multiple application, all these kind of topics we will cover in file management, data organization. Next chapter is word processor, tabular presentation. Almost everybody have studied about the MS Word, right? But here in this chapter we will study how to insert a table, because whenever the data written in a table or say in a tabular form or represented in a tabular form, it is very easy to understand. So in this chapter, we will study how to create a table, how to insert data in a table, how to edit, format a table and the data entered in it. And then we will also study in this chapter how to insert a formula to do the calculation in a computerized form inside the table. Otherwise, if you are calculating it out and then entering the data, what is the use? So here we will enter the formulas also in the table and see how it works. Then the next chapter is word processor mail merge. This is a very important feature of MS Word which helps you to create document and to send send those document to many persons at a time. Means it decreases your work. You don't have to write the same thing. If you have to send a letter to many persons just think 10 persons, we have taken an example of 10 persons, so you don't have to write that letter 10 times with the address. You have to just write the letter once and you have to just send it. How it will be done, all these process, all these steps we'll study in this chapter, word processor mail merge. Then the next chapter is presentation visual effect. Presentation visual effect will be done with the help of the software MS Word, MS PowerPoint. MS Office has provided us many softwares, in which one is MS PowerPoint. So here we will study how to apply animation effects, how to add transition effects, or how to insert a sound or a video to our slides. So all these things and many more features we will study in presentation visual effect. Then the next topic is Scratch programming. Scratch programming is basically a game creator. With the help of this programming language, we will use a game creator. Games we will create. So how it looks, how the character appears, how the sprite will move from one place to another. All these things we will study. Then the next chapter is also related to the same, more on Scratch. Here we will study in detail the control block, the searching block, the operator block, and the data block, which is also related to Scratch. Then the next topic is HTML. This topic is completely new to you. Up till now, you people have searched many pages on the internet, right? So many pages, all those pages which you are seeing there on internet or whatever you are viewing, searching, the page which appears on the screen at a moment, that particular screen or the page is known as a web page. So using this HTML is basic programming language of internet, with the help of which we create web pages. So here we will study how to create a web page, which will be continued there in class 7th also. Then the next topic is internet online surfing. Now internet is a very important part of our life, right? Right now also, with the help of internet also only, we are studying too. So in internet online surfing, the topics which will be covered will be how to create mail, how to attach a file to your mail, how to reply or how to forward your mail, and what are the advantage and disadvantage of internet. If you are using anything, the very first thing you should know is what are the advantages of those things and what are the disadvantages of those things. So all these topics will be covered under internet online surfing. Then the next chapter which we will study this year is e-commerce, blogging and podcasting. E-commerce, whatever trade or whatever things you do with the help of money or wherever the money is involved, that is known as e-commerce. So, and that thing is being done with the help of internet, then is known as e-commerce. E-shopping, everybody is aware of, right? So e-shopping means whatever you are shopping with the help of internet, that is known as e-shopping. E-banking, whatever transactions of bank related you are doing with the internet, that is known as e-banking. E-ticketing, nowadays nobody wants to go and stand there in a line for a reservation. So most of you try to do the reservation there with the help of internet. So that part is known as e-ticketing, and many more topics will be covered under this chapter. And then the last is Google Drive. Google Drive is an important part of today's life. Reason? Because everything is going online. So to store everything on your system and then to share, it becomes very difficult. When you are uploading or sharing anything, the thing which is there on your system, you have to see that the speed, Google speed or the internet speed is good or not. You are able to open that particular thing properly on internet or not. Yes. So if the thing is on the computer and you have to upload it on the internet or download it from the internet, you have to see the speed of the internet, right? But if it is there on the internet itself, so Google Drive is a space provided by internet where you will save your files so that it becomes easy to share these things to anyone there in the world. Understood? So these are the chapters, and many worksheets are also there in the book that we will discuss afterwards. Yes. So let's start with the first chapter. As you people are not having books with you because the book is changed, so it's better to take a pen and your copy or notebook to note down the important points. So the first chapter is categories of computers and computer language. So computers are being categorized on following basis. some criteria have been kept to categorize them. The first one is based on generation. Second is based on size. Third is based on type. And the fourth one is based on purpose. Note it down. Again, I am repeating. First one is based on generation. Second, based on size. Third, based on type. And fourth, based on purpose. So let's start with the first one, based on generation. Now, the first, actually generation means they are categorized into different generation according to the time, in which time slot, what were the features of that computer, which type of computers were used. These things categorize them under different generation. So the first generation computer came into existence during 1940 to 1956. What was the duration? 1940 to 1956. Now the features of first generation computers are, these computers were very large in size, as vacuum tubes were the main electronic component. Vacuum tubes were the main electronic component. Vacuum tubes are already big in size, and they consume very large power. Power means electricity, and they release lots of heat. So in these computers, these kind of computers, additional ACs or coolers were required to keep them cool. That is why the power consumption was too much. So these computer was based on machine level language. Machine level language means 0-1. That machine level language we will study in detail in this chapter. So machine level language, for this time it's this much is enough, that machine level language is 0-1. 0-1 means the combination of 0-1 is the language of computer. That is the basic language of computer. So just because of 0-1, because if you are saying everything there in 0-1, right now we are speaking in English language. So the computer language with 0-1, it becomes very tough to understand and operate also, because if you will not understand the thing, then definitely you will not be able to operate. If I am saying anything to you in different language which you are not able to understand, definitely you will not be able to do that particular work properly. And as I have said earlier, it consumes huge power. Then comes second generation computer. The duration of second generation computer was 1956 to 1963. Again, I am repeating, the timing of second generation computer was 1956 to 1963. The technology used in this generation was transistor, were one of the main components used in the circuit of the computer. Transistors were one of the main components used in the circuit of the computer. Means in the previous one, so in this generation, the technology used was transistor. The vacuum tubes were replaced by the transistors. The transistors were very small in size compared to vacuum tubes. So the computer were smaller compared to the first generation computer. Means the technology or the material which is there inside the computer, when that thing will be shrinked, means becomes small, definitely the size of the computer will also be small. So the computer were smaller compared to the first generation computer. Then the processing speed increased from milliseconds to microseconds. Again, I am repeating, the processing speed, the working time of the computer increased from milliseconds to microseconds. Then comes the third generation computer. The duration of third generation computer was from 1964 to 1971. Again, I am repeating the time slot, 1964 to 1971. The features of this third generation computer is here: use of IC technology reduce the size of the computer. What is IC? IC means integrated circuit. The full form of IC is integrated circuit. So integrated circuit are you can say chip kind of thing, a small chip kind of thing, which reduce the size of the computer too much. Which reduce the size of the computer too much. In the first one, the size of the computer was almost of a room. Size of a room. Then it decreased a bit. Then in third generation computer, the size decreased more. And the calculation speed increased to nanosecond, means the processing speed increased. And the capacity to hold data also increased. Clear? Now the next generation is the fourth generation computer. The time slot of fourth generation computer is 1971 to 1985. Again, I am repeating the time slot, 1971 to 1985. In this generation, the technology which came into existence was microprocessor. Microprocessor came into existence with the generation in this generation, and which led the emergence of microcomputer. Means microprocessor came into existence with the generation that led the emergence of microcomputer. This microcomputer are the most commonly used computers. That also we will study it in details in the next topic. These computers are widely used for general as well as commercial applications. What does it mean? General means common people started using these kind of computers as we are using nowadays, and commercial means on shops also, or the persons those who are doing business or related to that, everybody started using these kind of computers because it was easy to handle. When we will study microcomputer, that part will become clear. And the storage capacity increased to several terabytes. You people have already studied in previous class the different storage pattern. Yes. So the storage capacity increased to several terabytes. Then fifth generation computer, which is present and future. The computers which we are using in present time and which we will use in future, that will be considered or categorized under fifth generation computer. These computers are called intelligent computers. Reason? Because these computers can take their own decision. These computers can take their own decisions. That is why this concept of taking decision by their own is named as artificial intelligence, or many times you people have heard this term AI. Artificial intelligence, those computers which can take their own decisions by themselves. So this was all regarding the first category, that was on the base of generation. Now the next category is based on size. Now based on size also, the computer is categorized under four different categories. They are: first one, microcomputers; second, mini computers; third, mainframe computers; and the fourth one is supercomputers. Now let's start with the first one. What are the properties of microcomputers? Microcomputers are small in size, cost is less, designed for personal use, and used mainly in homes, schools, and offices. So microcomputers are small in size and the cost is less. Now the thing which you people are using nowadays, as I was saying, properties of microcomputers: they were small in size, cost is less and designed for personal use, and they were used mainly in homes, school and offices. Now let's see what are the examples of microcomputer. The first one is desktop. Some examples of microcomputers are, the first one is desktop. This is second one is laptop. Why the name desktop is given to it? Because the monitor of this type of microcomputer can be placed on the desk. That is why these kind of computers are known as desktop. It is accompanied with a CPU, a keyboard and a mouse. You can add many more peripheral devices like your speaker, your printer, your scanner, all these kind of things with your desktop. Then next is laptop. Laptops name suggests that these kind of computers can be kept there on your lap and it can be used. Basically, these kind of computers, laptops, were designed for those persons, those who travel a lot and they have to carry their computer with them. So desktop cannot be carried with. That is why laptops were introduced and they were meant for these kind of persons. Now to carry, it should be lighter. So laptops are such computers which can be easily portable because of their size and shape. Yes, and the weight also. The size, or say the screen size of laptops are 13 to 15 inches and weight is from 2 kg to 3 kg. So it's very easy to carry from one place to another. More lighter laptops are also there, but maximum this much is the weight of the laptop. Next type of microcomputer is tablets. The tablets, which not that which you eat, but the tablet computers which is bit bigger than smartphones. Now here in the figure you can see that no keyboard or mouse is there. How to give the input? Here the screen itself is the input device, as it is a touch screen. Clear? The screen itself is a input device because it is a touch screen and it can completely work as you work there on your desktop or laptop. Next kind of microcomputer is palm tops. Palm tops are such kind of computers which are compressed. Compressed means the screen is also compressed and the keyboard is also compressed of such size so that it can be adjusted there on your palm. Clear? As you can see there in the image. So these kind of computers are called palm tops. They are completely working similar to the other micro computers. Then next comes is handheld devices. Now the computers which can be held there in your hand. The very common one is your smartphone, that is there in almost nowadays in everybody's hand, right? So smartphone is also considered under the category of microcomputer. Microcomputer, why it is this name is given to it smartphone? Because it is really very smart. It is working as a computer also and it is working as a phone also. Means it is being used to make a call, to receive a call, to text someone. Means you can send text messages, you can mail, you can receive mail, you can send mail and many more. You can see videos, you can play games and many more things you can do on your smartphone. Next is game console, very favorite thing of the students. Yes, so game console is also a device. Game console is a device equipped with a display screen, game controls like joystick and buttons, and speaker. It can also be connected to a television or a computer. And in that case, the user interacts with the game through a handheld controller, means a remote control. You can see there in the image. Yes, with that controller you can control the games. Many of you are playing also, so you people are aware of it. Clear? Now the next category comes under the size one is mini computers. Mini computers. The properties of mini computer is they are bigger in size compared to microcomputers. They are bigger in size compared to microcomputers. They are expensive also as compared to microcomputers because their processing speed is more than microcomputer. Now the more number of users can use it at a time. This statement says that more number of users can use it at a time. Means right now you are using microcomputers. Almost everybody is using microcomputers. So in microcomputer only one person can use it at a time. Yes, you are the user and you can use it, only a single person is using. Yes, only you are using. But these mini computers are those computers which can be shared by 4 to 200 users. Example, they are used in many banks, universities and other big organizations. So here what happens, a CPU is there and many monitors can be connected to that particular CPU. Some examples are been given there: PDP-8, HP 2100, Microvax 3100. Now let's see the image of mini computer. It is so much big there in size that it looks like a refrigerator. Yes, but it's not a refrigerator, but it looks like that kind of shape. And so here in the next image you can see that how the different monitors, number of monitors are being connected to the CPU. One CPU it is connected. Here for example 5 CPU monitors are being taken and connected to the CPU. This part is clear. Now let's go to the next one. Next category is mainframe computers. Now the properties of mainframe computer is it is more powerful compared to the previous two, more bigger in size compared to the previous two. The memory storage space is also more. Processing speed is also high. They are designed to track huge amount of data. More than 100 users can use these computer at a time. Means in the first one, microcomputer only one can use. Mini computer up till 200 can use. In mainframe computer more than 200 can use. Just because of these features, these mainframe computers are expensive. Now they are used there in mainframe, mainly used in large business organization, universities, banks, railway and airline ticket reservation, stock exchange markets and scientific laboratories, etc. Now let's see the image of mainframe computer. This is the mainframe computer. You can see these kind of computers are used there in banks, for reservation and all, and big universities. Let's go further. The last one is supercomputers. The last category, kind of computer under this category is supercomputer. As the name itself is saying super, so the property of the supercomputer is they are the most powerful computers having huge processing speed. Means the speed of working by these computers are too high. Now the question arises where they are used. They are used for weather forecasting, space research and satellite control, etc. Can anybody name the very first supercomputer of India? Yes, that is Param. Note it down. That is Param. Param is the supercomputer designed in India. And it was assembled by Center of Development of Advanced Computing, CDAC. Clear? When you will get your book, these things are very clearly written there. So, we have covered 2 topics. In the next topic, we will cover based on types. Well, that is for the next session. So, we have studied the category of computers based on 2. The first one is based on generation and the second one was based on size. Let's have a quick review. First generation computer, timing was 1940 to 1956. Second generation computer, 1956 to 1963. In first generation computer, vacuum tubes were used and they were big in size. Second generation computer, transistor were used and they were smaller in size compared to the first generation computer. Third generation computer was into existence in 1964 to 1971. IC technology, integrated circuit technology was used in this computer and the calculation speed was nanoseconds. And in fourth generation computer, that was there in 1971 to 1985 and the technology used was microprocessors. And in fifth generation computer, artificial intelligence technology is being used. That was related to generations. Now, based on size, the computers are being categorized under 4 microcomputers, mini computers, mainframe computers, and supercomputers. Microcomputers are small in size, cost is less, designed for personal use, and used in homes, school, and offices, which you people are using currently. Yes. Mini computers are a bit bigger in size compared to microcomputers, expensive also. Their processing speed is also high and the number of users is also more. Mainframe computer is more powerful than previous two. The size is also big, the capacity is also big and the number of users is also more which can use it and it is expensive too. Supercomputers, they are the most powerful computers of the world and having the huge processing speed, used in weather forecasting, space research and satellite control, etc. So that's all for today's session. Now I hope that you people have understood all the topics and noted down all the points, important points. We will discuss those important points or a kind of revision kind. We will see what time we get for all these kind of revisions when we meet in school. Well, meanwhile, stay at home and be safe and study online. All those videos are been there on our channels, YouTube channels of a school. As I want to remind you again that school is having 2 channels. One is Little Flower School Rapti Nagar and second one is LFS online classes. LFS Rapti Nagar online classes. That's all. Thank you.